When a non-K-pop fans talk about K-pop trainees, they treat it like they're in jail. Here are 10 big misunderstood things about K-pop trainees. 1. K-pop trainees don't get an education. This one comes up every time and I'm tired of hearing it. No, K-pop trainees aren't uneducated dropouts dancing in basements. They're just not going to the same kind of school you went to. Most of them transfer to art schools or talent-focused high schools where they can still study and train. Korea has a whole education system built to support entertainers. Schools like SOPA or Hanlim. So yeah, maybe they're not doing calculus at 9 a.m., but they're still getting an education that fits their career. And before you judge that like, oh no, that's not real school, please remember, not every country has the same education system. Just because it doesn't look like your idea of school doesn't mean it's fake. Now, yes, it's true that some foreign trainees may struggle more with education because they don't speak Korean yet, so enrolling in a public Korean school becomes super hard. But they still have options. There are private international schools in Korea that use English as the base language, and a lot of foreign trainees go there. And on top of that, most companies also provide basic education classes in-house. Language lessons, business training, media handling, Korean culture classes. They're literally training to become public figures, not just dancers. So no, they're not ditching school for fame. They're just getting educated differently. 2. Trainees are forced to starve every day. Let's stop acting like K-pop companies are locking up trainees and throwing away their rice bowls. Yes, dieting exists. Weight and appearance matter in the industry, but no one is starving to death in the practice room like it's the Hunger Games. People love to twist this like, oh my God, they only let them eat one sweet potato a day. Most companies hire nutritionists. They don't want their trainees passing out on stage. That's bad PR. Trainees go through strict diet plans, but it's because they need to dance for hours every day while still looking good under HD cameras. You think sweating for 6 hours in a hoodie and practicing choreography burns no calories? They're not starving. They're eating clean. No junk, no midnight fried chicken, no bubble tea every other hour. That's not starvation, that's discipline. And guess what? It's the same discipline athletes, actors, and models follow all over the world. Now, is it hard? Absolutely. But K-pop isn't meant to be easy. You want to be an idol in a billion-dollar industry with fans across the globe? You don't get there eating instant ramen and sleeping 10 hours a night. It's a high-pressure job with high appearance standards. That's just the reality. And the wildest part? Some of these trainees are the ones who push themselves into crazy diets, not even the company, because they want to debut, they want to look good, they want to compete. So no, K-pop trainees aren't being tortured with empty plates. They're just living on a clean, controlled diet. 3. They train for years and still might not debut. That's so unfair. Unfair? Babe, this isn't a school project where everyone gets a participation trophy. This is the entertainment industry, not a daycare. And yeah, you can train for years and still not debut. That's not evil. That's competition. People act like K-pop companies are monsters because they don't debut every trainee. But think about it for 2 seconds. Do you seriously expect them to debut someone just because they stuck around? Like, oh, you've been here for 5 years. Okay, I guess you get a spot in the group. What kind of logic is that? It's about timing, potential, chemistry, the market, the concept, the look, the vibe, the fan response, the whole package. And sometimes, even if a trainee is talented, they just don't fit the group the company is building. It sucks. It hurts. But that's life in a creative industry. This isn't a normal job where you clock in, do your hours, and get a promotion. You're not promised anything just because you worked hard. You could be amazing, but if another trainee fits the group better, has more stage presence, or trends better on social media, they're getting picked. Simple. Also, some trainees walk away themselves. It's not always the company's choice. Some quit because the pressure is too much. Some get tired. Some realize it's not what they want anymore. 4. K-pop trainee not allowed to use phones or Wi-Fi. Okay, which cave are you living in? Because, newsflash, K-pop trainees do use phones and Wi-Fi like normal human beings. The only thing companies ban is having an official social media account. That's it. What does that mean? They can watch TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and scroll through all the memes like everyone else. They just can't post on their real accounts or blow up their Facebook faces online. And you know what? Some trainees even have secret gaming channels or anonymous fan pages. Yeah, companies allow that as long as they keep it low-key. So if you really believe trainees are locked up with no internet, no phones, just sitting in the dark, dude, you need to come out of your cave. 5. K-pop trainees get no privacy. They're watched 24/7. All right, this one's a favorite conspiracy theory. They're watched all day, every day, no privacy at all. Sounds dramatic, right? But let me tell you what's actually going on. Yes, trainees do have schedules packed tighter than a subway car at rush hour. Yes, they have managers and staff checking on them to make sure they're on track. But 24/7 surveillance? They're not babies locked in cages with cameras in every corner. Trainees can walk around the city in their free time or on Sundays. They can go to the supermarket, hang out at festivals, and enjoy life in Korea just like everyone else. They just can't stay out too late at night because, well, their schedule the next day is brutal. 6. Trainees are basically modern slaves. Okay, hold up. Are trainees working hard? Hell yes. Are they sacrificing their youth and dealing with crazy schedules? Absolutely, but modern slaves? Nah, that's an exaggeration. Slavery means zero freedom, zero pay, zero rights. Trainees, they choose to be there. They sign contracts, sometimes harsh but legal contracts. They get food, housing, training, and opportunities, things slaves never had. And unlike slaves, trainees can quit. Some do, and those who stay, they're chasing a dream, not trapped against their will. 7. K-pop companies brainwash them to be perfect. Here's a hot take for you. Everyone loves to say K-pop companies brainwash their trainees to be perfect robots. Companies push trainees to be their best, not because they want mindless clones, but because the industry demands high standards. They want people who can sing, dance, act, and look good doing it. That's the formula for success. Now, sure, it might feel strict or controlling sometimes, but brainwashing? Nah. Most trainees choose this path. They want to improve, to get stronger, to glow up inside and out. And companies provide the tools and environment to push them there. You want to call it brainwashing, but really it's just discipline and hard work. 8. Companies exploit trainees for free labor. People saying trainees are just cheap labor for companies, getting thrown into music videos or variety shows without pay. But let's clear the air. That's called exposure, not free labor. Sure, trainees sometimes appear in MVs, dance practice videos, or TV shows before they debut. They might not get a paycheck for that, but what they do get is a chance to build their portfolio, get screen time, and train in real industry settings. Think of it like an internship. Yes, you're working hard, but you're also gaining experience that can open doors. Companies don't just use trainees as free extras for fun, they're investing in their future stars. 9. Trainees who don't debut have their careers ruined. All right, here's something that gets said a lot. If you don't debut, your career is over. Your life is ruined. But hold up, are you sure success is guaranteed just by following the normal path? Look around. Tons of people graduate with degrees and still can't find decent jobs. We're living in a recession, baby. Back in the 90s, sure, if you went to university, you basically had a job waiting. But now, that's not how it works anymore. Even people with degrees end up working in totally unrelated fields just to survive. So don't pretend that sticking to the traditional study hard, get a degree, have a stable life route automatically makes you successful. 10. K-pop trainees have mental health challenges. Mental health? Please, that's life for anyone who's got a job. As soon as you start working hard, 99% of people deal with stress and mental health struggles. Being a trainee, yeah, it's basically a full-time job. You have daily tasks, endless practice, constant pressure, just like any adult out there. And no, it's not fair for kids. Some trainees are literally teenagers trying to handle intense schedules and huge expectations while still growing up. But here's the thing, it's not always as serious as people think. Sometimes they just get a little stressed, like anyone would. Only about 1 or 2% of trainees actually face serious mental health challenges, and honestly, that's often because they're struggling more than others to handle the pressure. This one isn't a misunderstanding. It's real, but it's also not a constant crisis for everyone. Still, I hope the industry keeps improving how they support these kids mentally because nobody should be pushed too far.